This police officer suddenly stepped on something while defusing a bomb, and with his keen intuition, he immediately notified his teammates that he might have stepped on a landmine. His teammates were all stunned upon hearing this, and the captain could only tell him to stay calm. Before his teammates could rescue him, he had to maintain his weight on the spot. What made matters worse was that there was still a large bomb in front of Lou. He had originally planned to defuse this bomb, not knowing there was a landmine buried nearby. Looking at the crowd evacuating from the explosion zone, Lou decided to complete his mission and defuse the bomb in front of him, while his teammates provided remote guidance via radio. If he lost his balance during defusing, the landmine under his foot would likely detonate immediately. Fortunately, with his careful operation, he successfully cut the last wire, and his teammates breathed a sigh of relief. Lou endured the pain in his legs and struggled to stand up. He had saved the nearby residents, and now just needed to wait for his teammates to rescue him. However, when his teammates arrived at the scene, Lou told them to keep their distance, but their duty was to save people, especially when it was their own brother. Soon, his teammate Spike arrived with a detector. He was the team's bomb disposal expert, and upon arrival, he first scanned the area ahead. Spike discovered 3 landmines in the area, marking each one on the ground, and finally managed to reach Lou's side. He took out a small knife and repeatedly stabbed around Lou's foot to check if the landmine had any additional traps, and after confirming there were no issues, he dug away the gravel. However, the result was like a death sentence. He discovered it was a CR-38 bouncing mine. Upon hearing this, Lou immediately told Spike to leave, because he knew well that the power of this bouncing mine was enough to blow off the tracks of a heavy tank, and that acid dissolution and liquid nitrogen cooling were both ineffective. The only way to defuse it was to rely on luck to reinstall the safety pin, but Spike refused to abandon his teammate and began to dig around the bomb, preparing to find and reinstall the safety pin. After searching for a long time, Spike fortunately found the safety pin, but unfortunately, the hole was sealed with glue. This was undoubtedly the worst news, and even the usually calm captain began to lose his composure, while Spike continued to think of solutions. But Lou asked him to take the bomb away first, knowing that if the landmine exploded, the entire building might collapse. Spike told him to stand still and absolutely not move, then left carrying the bomb. At this moment, however, Lou took out his phone, and with sweat covering his forehead, he dialed his father's number. Lou struggled not to let himself sob, and he didn't dare let his parents know about his situation. After finishing this phone call, Lou was also prepared.